Hi everyone, welcome to another week's video. I'm Carol and I love sharing my love for art supplies and art books and techniques and everything related to mostly watercolor, mixed media, pencils, all of that good stuff. So today I have a new to me brand I'd like to share. This is called Jackman's Art Materials. I have the boxes here. I purchased this from Britain. I had recently seen a video of sketches and scrubs where she shared some materials she got in an art fair, and some of the materials she shared were paints from this brand, which I confess I had never heard about before. So I was very intrigued and I decided to buy a few tubes, 11 of them to be precise. I bought the small tubes to try and see what I find about these colors, and I thought why not to share those with you as well, since I haven't seen much about them on social media apart from this video I mentioned. I'm gonna also leave the link below to her video where she shared those if you are interested in checking. So I have here my swatch sheet prepared with all the names of the colors I'm gonna share, and I'm ready to see how they look. But before I start, I would, as usual, like to thank you for being here with me, for giving me your support. I really appreciate, and I ask you kindly, if you enjoy the content of this video, to remember to give me that thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so because it really helps the channel. So these tubes are 5 ml tubes. They are quite tiny as I show here, and in the tube you have the name of the paint, you have also the pigment information, and that's it. There's no information about opacity or if it's staining or not. So we have to see. These tubes have this dropper, which reminds me a bit of medication tubes, but they are quite good in the sense that you don't have to dose too much the paint you are putting out of the tube, even though some of the tubes just splurted out paint, as it happens sometimes with tube watercolors. But we'll see. So far the only one that I noticed there was a bit of binder separation was the Terre Verte, but we'll see how this performs. I'll maybe zoom in a bit so you can see from close. Here we go. So we start with the first one, which is Scarlet Lake, and this is PR48 column 1, which is a new pigment to me. I've never tried this pigment in any other brand, and it's a very vibrant red. I have seen the Lightfast ratings, I believe, in their website, and I think this is not as Lightfast as the others, but I liked so much the tone of this red that I didn't mind. You can see how vibrant that is with a little bit of paint. I'm trying to dilute it a bit. I would say this is probably the staining color, because as you can see, I don't manage to dilute it very much. Let's try now the golden ochre, which is PY43. I'll try to dilute this one a bit better. Here we have it. Now next one is a convenience mix. It's called Autumn Foliage, and this is a PR101 and PY150 mix. So PR1 can be many different colors, and PY150 is nickel azo yellow. So should be a very luminous type of burnt orange color, and transparent as well. Now we have Hematite Genuine, which I usually wouldn't expect to have a pigment number, but in their tube they have PBR29 listed, and it's a very beautiful color, very rich and opaque. You don't really need a lot of it. I probably put too much on paper. I'll have difficulty diluting it, but it's a gorgeous color. It should granulate, but we'll see how it dries. The next one is another convenience color that's called Desert Blue, and this is PB35, PR101 and PB29. That looks more like a bluish Payne's gray. Very gorgeous color. This should be granulating as well. Reminds me a bit of Sodalite by Danielle Smith also, even though Sodalite is more on the gray side. This is more on the blue side, but it looks gorgeous. Now we have a series of greens, because these are the colors that most catch my eye. The greens, they look very lovely. I have 5 of them. So the first one is called Jade Green, and this is a mix of PG19, PY150 and PB29. Very interesting green. It kind of reminds me a bit of maybe Autumn Green by Roman Schmall. We'll see how it dries. And in the meantime, this desert blue looks really, really nice. Have some color separation over here. I'm gonna just remove a bit of the excess water. You can really see these blues. Now let's see the sap green, which is a mix between PB29, PG7 and PY83. This is similar to the jade green, I would say. It reminds me even more of autumn green. It's a bit brighter. Really beautiful color. That's my type of green. Yeah, this definitely is really similar to autumn green. Next one is forest green, and this is PY83, PG19 and PB29. It's another type of olive green, a bit darker and more muted. Very, very beautiful set of greens. I know they look quite similar, but in person I can definitely see the difference. Now we have Terre Verte, that this is PG23, and this is the one that I had a tiny bit of binder coming out of the tube. And this is a color that usually is not very strong, quite gummy also, so it's quite the usual for a Terre Verte. Then we have forest green, which is PY150, PBK6 and PB15. I have a lot of paint on this swatch because it just splurted out of the tube and I have no choice, but I'll try to dilute it a little bit here. This reminds me a little bit of one of the Primatech, maybe Jadeite. Very beautiful green as well. And last but not least, we have Burnt Sienna PR101. A lot of paint on this one as well. Beautiful burnt sienna. Very lovely and transparent. So now I'm gonna leave these to dry, and once they are dry I'm gonna come back, share the close-up with you, and then talk a little bit about what I think. See you soon. So I'm back. They are almost dry, not completely, but I decided to show you the close-ups anyway, and then I'll discuss a little bit about the colors. So, what do I think? I was very pleasantly surprised with a few of those colors. I will tell you my favorites. So, I love the Hematite Genuine. It's a very unique color. I also love the Desert Blue. It has a very pronounced granulation and color separation, as you can see here. Like all the greens, but especially the Rainforest Green, because it has a nice texture and also very nice color separation. Same with Jade Green. So I would say these are my very favorites, even though I like all of the colors I got. These greens and the blue and the hematite, my favorite. If I had to buy tubes again, I would consider buying bigger tubes of these colors alone, because I forgot to mention these are the 5 ml tubes, but they also offer 15, I believe. I'm gonna correct myself here while I'm editing if I'm wrong, but I believe they also have 15 ml tubes, and they are bigger tubes anyway. So as I was not sure what I would find, how much I would like this brand that is new to me, I decided to invest just in small tubes for the moment. But like I said, these colors really impressed me, and I separated a few colors that I own already to compare, to show to you. So like I said, the Scarlet Lake has a pigment which I never used before, but I found that it behaves pretty similar to Anthraquinone Scarlet by Roman Small, and this is a PR 168. I found it very similar. So I thought I didn't have any PY 43 to compare, but I do indeed. I have this Sennelier Yellow Ochre, but you can see it's a very different tone, even though the pigment is the same. Oh, excuse me, that's the color, yeah. So it's a very different tone. So I'm happy to have this color as well. I didn't find anything in particular to compare to Autumn Foliage. Now, Hematite Genuine, I have the Daniel Smith version that you see looks nothing like this version here. This is a more violet version and more rich and also more opaque. You can see here in Mastone it gets really dark. The closest thing I could find, even though it's not the same, was the Manganese Brown by Roman Schmoll, that is a type of more on the purplish side, but not as purplish as this one here. So very happy about this color. It looks nothing like anything I own, so I'm happy about that. I don't have anything look similar to the Desert Blue. Now the Jade Green, as I said, remind me of Roman Schmoll Autumn Green, and it does indeed look quite a lot like Autumn Green. Also the Sap Green in a sense, even though the Sap Green doesn't have the granulation that Autumn Green has. I have two Sap Greens here to compare to. So I have Winsor & Newton, and you see that this is way more on the yellowish side, which I really like. And I have also Daniel Smith, that is slightly warmer, but even so not as warm as the Jackman's version. And I have nothing similar to this beautiful rainforest green, and I love that. Now the Green Earth, I have Sennelier version to compare, and it looks quite similar to the diluted paint. I couldn't get it masked on like this, but yeah, it behaves pretty similarly. The forest green, which I said could be look like jadeite, I was actually thinking of Green Apatite Genuine, but I found it was more similar to Roman Schmoll Aquarius Green, even though it's not the same, but it's the most similar I had. And finally we have the burnt sienna that is made with PR 101, and I have here a transparent brown oxide by core, and you can see it looks quite similar, so no surprises there. So what can I say? I'm really happy to have tested this brand. I enjoyed purchasing the colors from them. I would be curious of trying other colors possibly. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you also was curious about this brand, let me know in the comments if you had heard about them before, or if you intend on trying their colors as well. I'm always happy to read and answer to your comments, and I hope to see you here soon. Bye!